Hello everyone. So today I thought I would do a bit of an accountability video because I have had a shit reading year so far and it's all my fault. It's completely my fault. I have read 5 books this year so far and I'm looking to double it for the next quarter. Has it been a quarter? No, it's been over a quarter and I've only read 5 books. So I thought I'd just start off with a little bit of my year in reading so far. I started off with something that I thought I would love. And to its credit, it got me back into reading, but I did not love it. Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. So it's a YA fantasy based in like a fictional Middle Eastern setting. Follows the main character Armani, who is a sharpshooter. The premise of the story kicks off when a mysterious stranger stumbles into town and Armani takes the opportunity to try to change her life. Now, I noticed that in stories like this, stories that are kind of set in a misogynistic or classist setting, plot devices often rely on convenience instead of the characters' wit or their authority. And maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe Armani did lead the story more than I thought, but I just felt like a lot of things that happened were just, oh well, that's convenient, great. The other thing is, I feel like I read this book so many times. Maybe I would have liked it more if I had read it before Throne of Glass or what's that, Song of Ice and Fire or something? Wait, is that the George R. R. Martin book? Ice Like Fire, Snow Like Ashes. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, there are a heap of books like this, and this was just another in that line for me. So I just couldn't like it. But the next book that I picked up really made up for it. I freaking loved it. It was The Midnight Lie by Marie Rutowski. And oh, this was so good. So it's another YA fantasy set in a continent that has very strict class systems. So you're either low, middle or upper class, and there's like no mingling, no meddling with the system, otherwise you'll be punished. The magic system in the book was so fascinating, the politics so fascinating, the hints of romance, I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I gave this 2 stars. It was good enough to finish, but yeah. So after The Midnight Lie, I needed a palate cleanser because I needed to read something that was completely not like it, because anything I read after it just would have sucked. So I ended up reading the audiobook The Notorious RGB, which is pretty much just a biography of the woman from the Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I thought it was okay. Like, I gave it 3 stars. It was interesting. But if you want to learn about it, I think the movie's better, on the basis of sex, that came out a couple of years ago. The 4th book I read this year, Ready Player 2. Yeah, so anyway, the book I read after that was... No, I'm just kidding. Look, you know what they say. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. No. I'm kidding. I did like some things about the book. I liked when it ended. Okay, no, seriously. I'm sorry. There were enjoyable aspects to this book. Although, honestly, it just kind of felt like character assassination. And it just felt like the characters that were there to meet a diversity quota, like H and Shoto, were just along the ride as fodder for the Artemis and Wade show. It was... And even then, Artemis and Wade's characters just did not feel authentic at all like they did in the first book. There was no continuity for their personalities. Although the premise I actually thought was incredibly interesting. The premise is, after the events of Ready Player One, Wade discovers another secret that was left for him by Old Mate, and it's turns out Old Mate and his friends, I forgot his name, the guy with the cloak, and Kira. Anywho, they were secretly working on no, not Kira, just Old Mate. Old Mate with the cloak. He was working on a headset that had the capacity to make you live within the VR system. Not physically, but your neurons fire as if you're there. So instead of just being in virtual reality, you're feeling, tasting, smelling. And the premise is, well, this could be a really cool headset to increase empathy, get people to understand each other, help with, degenerative diseases. And the book starts out with like this philosophical discussion where Artemis is like, no, I don't like this. And Wade is like, I like this. Let's release it to the world. And I thought the book was going to be about that. But then Wade, Shoto, and H are just kind of like, fuck you, Samantha. We're going to release it regardless of what you think. And then it's just like another friggin' Easter egg hunt. It's just like a copy of the first book. Don't read it. Just reread Ready Player One. Still a great book. Still love that one. And my most recent read was the Cersei audiobook by Madeline Miller. Now, I've never read a book about Greek gods before. I always just thought they were lame and boring. But this book was really good. Really good. So it's about the lesser goddess of witchcraft, and she is the daughter of Helios. It's kind of about her life growing up as a lesser goddess, and what do you do when you don't fit in with the gods and you don't fit in with humans. The audiobook performance was beautiful. I thought the actress caught all the nuances in Cersei's emotions very well, and I thought that Cersei was a really relatable and likable character. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm currently reading The Invisible Life of Addie something LaRue, I think, by V.E. Schwab. It's really beautiful so far. I haven't read enough to really know what to say, but it involves gods, which is cool. Liking it so far. It's my first V.E. Schwab thing I've ever read, so far so good. Anyway, I am hoping to read way more books than what I've currently read, and I'm making this video to keep me accountable. My next video is going to be kind of like a summary of my reading plans for the rest of the year, or at the very least the next couple months. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.